25 of 25.
Yeah, I see where it says the video though is 25 to 25. So if it might be limited when you're
Oh.
doing the video.
Oh, for crumb's sake. Are you kidding?
Oh, you're probably right.
Uh, well, I guess there's not much I can do about that.
Oh, I pulled Odessa in. I don't know if you wanted to join us, Odessa, but I was able to pull him in.
So, yeah, I tried to get in. The channel was full though.
Oh, but now we're full again, I guess. Maybe somebody left.
Yeah, so maybe just have them go up to like voice chat and pull them in manually.
No, it only worked with Odessa. It's not working with anybody else.
Well, it's saying
25?
26 of 25 now.
Well, that's weird.
Just go to Persa's YouTube channel.
I suppose. And I will be recording, so that this is being recorded. So I'll upload the meeting after for folks who couldn't attend the meeting tonight.
Just quickly for the people that have zoned in or are around the raid, when you come in, go up the stairs to your left and talk to the renowned quartermaster in case you didn't do it for LFR yet. So that'll unlock the rep. Otherwise, I don't think you gain rep.
Too.
I'll hop out and watch it on YouTube.
I have it. I'm not streaming. I'm recording. So I guess. Well. I guess I'll just. I won't. I'll turn off my camera.
Can you
Or is it the share screen that's limited?
can you adjust Discord to a lot more people?
It's. I have it to set to unlimited, but I don't know. I guess there's a setting that when you're streaming or sharing your screen, it's limited to 25.
Yeah, because what I see on my Discord channel, it shows where it says 26 of 25, there's a camera icon next to it, which makes me think, because we've had more than 30 people in here before.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then I'll just turn off. I'll turn off the camera as long as you guys don't mind a voice speaking behind the slides.
Yeah, it's a limit on video calls.
Dumb. Okay, well then I'll turn it off.
Oodles.
Toodles. There we go.
Oh, thank goodness.
Friend.
Oh, wait. Gee,
Okay.
that wasn't supposed to be out loud.
Oopsie daisies.
Oh, good. Okay, let's get started. So I am streaming my screen. Everyone should see Liberation of Undermine raid meet. Let's get going. Okay, so we're gonna talk about our raid roster, progression, start date, expectations, all that good stuff. We're also gonna talk about our event calendar. Because we have 2 new officers, we have Skull and Spellcheck, and Naz has returned. We've got exciting things happening on the calendar. So we'll quickly go over those.
Welcome back.
And then we'll have
What happens when you skip the penicillin?
right. And then we'll have an open forum, and you guys can tell us what worked, what didn't work, so that way we can apply your feedback moving forward. And then we'll get in there. I have timed myself. This should take about 10 minutes. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay. So the roster has been posted. Everyone knows what they're doing. If you're not tanking or not healing, then you are DPSing. When a tank or healer role needs to be covered, we will follow the backup list that's posted here. And we do that for a reason. We want to be fair and we want to be as consistent as possible. We ask everyone to stay on their main until AOTC is earned, unless there are extenuating circumstances. So for instance, let's say we're down a tank, and if we take a look at the backup list, Harima would be next in line, but let's say Harima's not available, so next in line would be Skull. Well, Skull can't tank on his mage, and he is bringing his mage for prog, so he would have to hop on to his evoker to tank. So that would be an extenuating circumstance. We try to avoid the class swapping until it's unavoidable, until we have to do what we need to do to have a viable group. Bees, did you have a question? Did I see it pop in there? No? Was that Skull that popped up?
That was me, yeah. Because taking on my evoker will probably be just as difficult as on my mage. I think you meant to say demon hunter.
I meant to say demon hunter. You're absolutely right.
Everyone understood, yeah.
But that might be prophetic. It might be coming soon.
Maybe.
Cool, yeah.
That's right. And another extenuating circumstance, and we incorporated what's called the nerf rule a few expansions ago. So if your tune's been nerfed and you're just no longer having fun with your tune and you want to switch up your main, then come and chat with us and we'll do our best to accommodate. We have asked everyone to choose their main before Season 2 was launched, so we do realize that there are some classes that have undergone a huge... lots of changes have happened. So if we're weak into progression, you're like, I don't know, I think I chose poorly, then just let us know and we'll do something to try to make it happen. We'll try to be as accommodating as possible. We try, like ideally, we want to keep our composition. We don't want folks swapping in and out because it makes acquiring gear a little more challenging. It can also compromise the group integrity because one of the things that the officers and we look at is, raid buffs and utility. And if we have people swapping classes, then it can undermine those efforts. So that's the reason for the mains only. Okay, so we start tonight. We're in a 2-week blitz. So tonight and tomorrow we're doing normal. Tomorrow's going to be a continuation from wherever we leave off tonight. And then next Friday, Saturday is our second week. And then the third week, that's when we're starting heroic. And we'll talk about that very shortly. In terms of expectations and item level, let's get in there. Let's see how it feels. We'll take a look at the logs and then we'll post what's reasonable. What we think it'll be, we suspect, probably an item level around 620. The magic number is 15 item levels lower than what the raid is dropping. And so on normal, the raid's dropping a minimum of 636 gear. So that seems reasonable to be about 620 going in there. And from the logs that I'm looking at and the data that I've seen, I'm thinking about 1 million for DPS and heals. And I know that sounds scary, but I think that's what we're going to need in order to reasonably progress. And with all the different paths, toward gear acquisition, we're going to get there, right? Like Heroics drops 619, LFR drops 623, Mythic Zeros drops 636, Delves is another great source of getting gear, drops 639. So I know the 1 million sounds scary, but I think it's achievable. Any thoughts or comments on that?
Well, my mage is not there yet, so I'm going to go back to the booming and stay boomy then.
Okay. So for heroic, so after our 2-week blitz and normal, we're going to start heroic. So that third Friday will continue as normal Liberation of Undermine. And then the Saturday, that'll be March 22nd, that's when we'll start heroic progression. And just as we did last season, folks will be confirmed on the calendar if they are pulling the numbers from Friday's raid. So on Friday's raid, if you're meeting heroic expectations, we will confirm you on the calendar. So that means Friday becomes like a gateway, kind of like a proving grounds in order to get you into Saturday's raid. We're still going to have the Raider IO score of 1,000. I think folks are starting to understand why that's necessary. It's making us better raiders. We are more raid aware. We are reacting better to mechanics. So I think, us getting into keys and being exposed to those high intensity mechanics is working for us. Like we're doing great in terms of our raid progression. And let's see here. In terms of those expectations for heroic, again, I want to more closely look at the data before we post those expectations. Any questions about that? All good? Okay. For loot rules, nothing has changed here. We changed the loot rules based on your earlier feedback, and we really think it's working. So again, only guild members are eligible to need roll on items. That includes gear, recipes, pets, toys, mounts, etc. Our guests, as much as we value and appreciate them, they are not guildies, so they are not eligible to need roll. We kindly ask them to roll for transmog or greed. Guildies, as always, they have 2 main spec need wins. And after they've won their 2 main spec need wins, then they either transmog, greed, or pass, depending on your interest. So what this means is folks are going to be using transmog or greed roll when either they're not eligible to need, so it means that they're a guest, or they've already won their 2 main spec need rolls, or they want the item for transmog. So we no longer have an off-spec roll. If you want the item for off-spec, then you take your chances with transmog or greed. Our loot rules are designed to prioritize our main spec rolls. That's what you guys want. That's what we did. Now, let's say we have 2 folks who have transmog rolled on an item. One person wants it for transmog, and the other person, it's actually an upgrade for them. Well, then as we've done in the past, just speak up. Say, hey, that's actually an upgrade for me. And then it's at the discretion of the person who won it. Like they did win it fair and square. But if they're willing to surrender it to someone who can actually benefit from it, then that's great. But it's their prerogative. They it is up to them. Guild members, you have unlimited transmog and greed wins. Loot rules do not carry over for continuation runs. They're reset, as well as when we transition to heroic. So if we go from normal to heroic, the loot rules, they reset. And we also ask people, do not loot lock yourself, because you are affecting the loot pool. Any questions with that? Excellent. A few other notes about loot rules. The role that you attended raid for, that's what dictates your main spec need role. Now, with that said, we have 5 healers for season 2. If we have 30 folks raiding tonight, we're probably going to need 6 healers. Eric is next in line if we need a 6th healer. He's bringing his monk. So he's planning to DPS. So if we need a 6th healer, he's going to have to switch to heals. So in that event where we have asked someone to switch specs in order to meet the needs of the raid team, we will ask them then what they want to need roll on. Because it's not their fault that we've asked them to change. And so at the beginning of raid, we'll make it very clear, transparent, what are you going to be need rolling on? So that way it's been made clear and it's been announced at the beginning of the raid. Let's say you misclick and you accidentally need on something you didn't mean to. Don't panic. That's an easy fix. We can always manually roll things off in raid chat. BOEs, they're considered personal loot. So you do you. If you want to keep the item, that is, again, your prerogative. If you want to donate it, that's great. No secret trading, please. It's unfair to the team. It invites favoritism and loot drama. We don't want any of that stuff. If any recipes drop and the tune that you're raiding with has the corresponding profession, then go ahead and need on it. If you want it for an alt, then go ahead and greed on it. And let's say a BOE drops. Here's a pop quiz. So let's say a BOE drops and no one wants it for need. So then it goes to transmog. And let's say it's a plate helm. And let's say a pally rolls a 5 and a mage rolls 50. Who gets the item?
Naz.
That's right, the pally, because it's armor specific, and that's the same algorithm that Blizzard uses. So we're using the same algorithm. So the armor specific class takes priority over winning the item. Okay, in terms of expectations, again, make sure your gear is gemmed and enchanted. We're in the middle of the season, so there should be no excuses why gear isn't gemmed or enchanted. Make sure you update your add-ons. Bring personals. We certainly appreciate all the donations to the guild bank. And do your homework. So research the fights. My cheat notes are in Discord under the Liberation of Undermine category. There's all sorts of other resources in there too. There's the Ready Check videos. There's also Mythic Trap. They're one of my go-tos. The weak auras are in there as well. Bees brought to my attention the new weak aura for Liberation by Northern Sky. It looks pretty darn good. So thank you, Bees, for that. I've downloaded that for myself. And there's also lots of item level gear path graphics in there. So if you're trying to figure out, you know, how far does veteran go or how far does champion go, there's all sort of graphics in there for you. I don't think the Co-Tank, the Weekora Co-Tank one is available. I haven't seen it yet. Any of you guys? Have you guys seen it?
It's included in Northern Sky.
It's there? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, just like the Palace that we had last season, Northern Sky has Weekora for Co-Tank. It has all sorts of crap in it.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. And there's also my YouTube channel too. So if I can shamelessly promote, please subscribe, like, watch the videos. It's a great learning tool to go back and see the fight from a different perspective. Also review the combat logs. That's a really important source of information. And if you need help kind of demystifying the language, reach out to your guildies. We are here to help. Optimize your performance. Check out WoW Analyzer, White Vest, Mr. Robot. Latha has an amazing presentation on raid bots. So that's also on our YouTube channel. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but use the guild events to your advantage. There's also, like, every guild event that we have in some way promotes raid readiness. And of course, use your guildies. We are here to help too. For boss mechanics, there will be a brief instruction before we pull. I know that there are a few folks who just kind of want us to go in there and Leroy Jenkins. My anal retentive personality will not allow that. I just can't do that. So I will try to keep it brief, like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 things that we need to focus on before we pull the boss. And then if we need further instruction, then I'll go into more detail with the mechanics. And this has kind of been an ongoing thing that we need to work on, is just keeping Discord clear and open. I know everyone means well, and you're just all trying to be helpful, but it can get overwhelming very quickly if we have so many people chatting in Discord. So for this season, let's try to keep that clear and open. For etiquette, nothing has changed here either. So no swearing or political or religious sexist commentary. We're a casual guild. We raid twice a week, so let's optimize every minute that we have together. We don't have any time to waste, so let's come prepared, be on time, respect people's time. Let us know if you're going to be away. You guys do such a great job with that. We have 5-minute breaks at the top of the hour, so do what you got to do during those breaks. Try not to AFK without letting us know. Everything that we've talked about here is on the website. It's posted there, and we ask all of our guildies, all of our raid members to go to the website and to register. So that way we don't have to go through the rules, at the beginning of raid night every single night. Everyone's on the same page, which is really important. In terms of the calendar, like I said, we've got so many things going on right now. So for Mondays, we've got Hot Chicks Farm. She single-handedly supports our raid progression with all the mats in order to provide for feasts and cauldrons. So we certainly appreciate everyone's donations. We've got Harima's Oh Crap keys. The key window that he'll be aiming for is in between 5 and 9, and that's Monday nights. On Tuesdays, we have Spell Check social event. So anything from time walking to transmog to trivia, all sorts of fun will be happening on Tuesday nights. Wednesday is LFR. Thursday, we've got Eric's chill keys. So chilling with him, key ranging between 0 and 4. And then Fridays, we've got Shorty's Delves, which is an excellent source of getting gear. And then after our 2-week blitz, Friday will become alt raid, and Eric is our alt raid raid leader. And then Saturdays, after our 2-week blitz, Saturday becomes heroic. And then for Sundays, grab your coffee and run some keys with Naz. So he's aiming for keys between 7 to 10. And then we've got Keys Are Pain with Skull. Get your Keystone Master. And this event also offers transferable skills for raid progression. So this event will force you to optimize your performance and will force you to parse the logs. And all of that is you know, a valuable skill set that will help you in raid progression. And then I would anticipate in about a month, we'll be into alt raid. I think we're probably going to clear this raid on normal in a few weeks, and then it'll be alt raid. And so we'll ask everyone what they want to do for alt raid. And as I've always said, alt raid is so important. Like we try to offer a tiered path to progression. So Friday is always one tier behind Saturday. So that way, wherever you are in your progression needs, we've got something for you on the calendar. So if you're not quite ready for Saturday, that's okay. We got Friday. We've got LFR for you. We got keys for you. And alt raid encourages people to play different roles, which makes us more versatile. So if we're down a role, then we've got other people who have played those roles and they're going to be comfortable in those roles. And also with alt raid, there's just this fun Friday feels. And it's a really nice counterbalance to the slog of Prague. And so we need that. We need an event where we can just go in and blow stuff up. It just makes us feel good. And then I'm done. So do you guys have any thoughts or comments or suggestions, constructive criticism? What can we do better for this season? Anything else? It's like in a staff meeting. It's like, don't say anything, people. We just want to get this over with.
Don't look in the eye. Don't look in the eye.
That's right. No eye
Before we
contact.
Start. Okay. I posted the Northern Sky week aura for all the alerts and auras in the Progress Liberation thread. There's 3 other things in there. One is a database and functions. It is not needed to have the weak auras work. It just adds more functionality. One is an add-on that adds custom sounds. Again, not needed. It just adds more. And one is an anchor, which makes it easier to move stuff around. If you want a tutorial on how to use the anchors, I'll be more than happy to give it.
That's fantastic. Anything else, folks? Any other thoughts or comments?
Question.
Sure.
When we settle on the roster, are you going to update people's tags on the guild roster to show the mains currently?
So I would expect right now that we are on our mains. So these are the mains that we have chosen for progression. So if that changes, then that means someone has brought it to my attention that they're switching it up. So moving forward, this is our raid team.
Right. But everybody has a label on the guild roster when you pull up the guild menu and it says mains.
True.
A lot of these aren't what's labeled as the current mains.
True. And that does change from...
Update that.
I will not be updating that. No, that changes from season to season. Typically, the person's quote-unquote main is the person that they first joined the guild with.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, that didn't look good.
That was awesome.
What a great kickoff.
Okay, well, I think that's our cue. All right, I'm going to...
A big bloody mess there.
Did you guys see the body parts all spread across the ground?
All right, I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to start streaming.